Let me do the intro for this one. Hey guys, it's Dabomb again. In this video, I get f***ing bodied. Let's go!
So, for Yukari versus Iku, what are some general tips and tricks you would suggest for this matchup?
Yukari Iku is pretty rough for Iku in my opinion. Like, I wouldn't say it's exactly like a negative matchup in Yukari's favor, but it's like a pretty bad 5-5. The reason being is that a lot of Iku's really strong tools and a lot of her movement gets gimped pretty damn hard by Yukari's options. So Yukari can still do normal Yukari stuff against Iku, but Iku can't really do normal Iku stuff against Yukari. And on top of this, if Iku gets knocked down, Yukari's pressure against Iku is just disgusting. It's really, really hard to break out of. I can't really say too much for Yukari players. I think Yukari players can just abuse her bullets because Iku has no answer to Yukari's bullets at all, other than grazing.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, think about it. Yukari's 5B it's not very dense, but Iku doesn't have dense bullets, so Iku can't really punch through that wall of knives.
Wait,
And
so
then
does
Yukari,
her... Sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
Does her 6C go through Yukari's B bullets even?
No.
Oh,
Keep in mind that since 6C is on a vertical, like 6C always is on the same vertical line the entire time, and sometimes it converges to one point. If you're lucky, you'll delete like 3 or 4 knives from that wall, and then the rest of the wall just keeps going towards you. So 6C actually just does not do that much in this matchup at full screen.
huh.
Yukari is way too safe against snipes with all her bullets, especially 6C. Like I imagine like something like Patchouli 6C, yeah, you can punch through in the hitter. But for Iku, nope. Yukari's bullets are way too difficult to deal with.
Jeez. That's kind of rough, man.
Yeah. It also sucks that Yukari has the really annoying tool in J8A where her hurt box goes straight horizontal, like downwards. So she can duck under J2A and just hit you. That's really
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah, the J8A,
Also,
it's a little weird.
yeah, the J8A is really difficult to deal with. It's really good specifically against Iku's J2A, which is irritating. And then Yukari's J5A is faster than Iku's, and it's made of bull and magic. It hits above her and below her. I hate dealing with that move so much.
Alright.
It's such an underrated J5A.
Okay. Alright, let's just get into the games. Thank you
Yep.
for your insight.
Yeah, this might just be like the theme of this video. I'm just gonna be complaining about this character.
Which is totally fine.
See, like right there, 6C
Yeah.
does nothing against 5C. So Yukari's C bullets are dense enough that they just ignore my stuff, and they're fast enough that they're actually a threat to me in the air if I hit any button. And they have infinite graze resistance. So it's so irritating to deal with them, because even if you're hit, you just get knocked down. Like, normally these kinds of snipes, like, Iku's 6C knocks down if it hits you once, but if it hits you twice, then you're fine, you can just tech out of it. Yukari C's are the longest untech. So
Yeah.
you need to play super, super careful against Yukari.
That was like pretty much the only thing that you could have done there, right? Like you just kind of got out there because you blocked enough.
Yeah, fly under. Okay, sorry. Fly over J2A is a preferred tool in this situation. Like, you know, their air string is over, they're falling to the ground, and you have free movement. But Yukari has so many tools against fly down J2A. She can do just straight up pinwheel, and if you're not blocking, you just get hit and knocked down. She can do 2B, and 2B is very difficult to get through because it's not just one bullet, it's a bunch of them, and the high jump cancels very fast. She can also pinwheel in the other direction because she has upper body invincibility. So yeah, I prefer to just get out and get back to neutral. It's not worth trying to, like, you know, shove my way through and trying to and hit her in those situations.
Okay.
You can see how easily Yukari can just chase Iku around because if she's
Yeah.
going behind her slow bullets, I can't throw out J2A, I can't throw out J6A. My usual zoning tools just don't apply.
Yeah, you seem incredibly stifled here. Like even when Yukari when Irok just whiffs here, you're still like kind of unable to do anything about it almost.
Yeah, the angles are really because Yukari just like hits Iku from places where Iku can't put hitboxes down. So even if Yukari whiffs, she's fine because Iku's Iku's perfect flight is good, but I can't change directions on a dime, and I can't just like hit buttons out of flight. When Iku flies, she can't hit buttons for a solid like 20 frames. It's almost like Oku, but not as severe. So whenever I have to like turn around to hit a character, it never works in my favor.
Okay. Ooh, that was a really nice J6A hit.
Yeah. J6A, since you get carried forward a little bit, sometimes you can get like meaties with the tip of the hitbox. And Yukari's wide, so I spaced it really well there. So this is also worth noting. For so for some reason, most Hangekis in this game are minus 16. Iku's 4-5A is 16 frame startup. For some unknown, ungodly reason, Yukari's Hangeki is minus 14, so I can't punish it.
Jesus.
Like I have to be within 2A range because 2A is 12 frames, so that actually hits. But if I'm at 4-5A range, the best I can do is just 4-5A and start pressure on block. I can't punish it. It's really irritating.
And the pushback on block from mid screen basically makes it impossible for 2A to work unless you like start from point blank, right?
More or less, yeah. It's so irritating how Yukari can just jump all over the place with J5A. J5A is like it's one of the lowest recovery J5As in the game. From startup to finish. It just has very little total duration, so Yukari can just throw it out all over the place, and still a massive button. It's so difficult to deal with. Like I can think like, oh, okay, Yukari's going down to the ground and she whipped J5A. I can start moving now. The J5A and the recovery and the high jump is so fast that she can catch me like during my flight startup in this case.
Yo, she kind of looks like she's flipping you off though.
A little bit.
So, what kind of strategies do you have for defending against objective or border here? Because it just sort of seems like extra chip damage along with the normal pressure. Do you kind of expect IROC to be going for more of like jabs and stuff?
Ideally if he does objective border, I can recover in time. And what I would really like to do against objective border is I try to J2A her head from as high as possible, and then cancel my landing momentum with something like 6C, like J6C or J5B, and then just fly away. So J2A will knock down from that load. She just can't tech in time, and that stalls out most of objective border. When I'm blocking, well, as far as I know, objective border is it does not, even if it's type 2, it doesn't drain very much spirit on Grays, and Iku can just fly forever. So I can just fly away from Yukari most of the time. So usually like I just try to border escape as fast as possible and then fly around since I'm Iku and I'm allowed to do that. But if you're someone who has more expensive flight, then it's probably a bit more difficult.
Okay.
Or just Veil.
Yeah, just Veil. It's time for pressure to be over. It's Veil time. Ooh, the backdash. That was probably a misinput, yeah?
I have no idea how I even backdashed because if you look back a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
I was throwing 6C to
Mm-hmm.
the right. I don't even know how I backdashed.
I think
Like
what
straight up.
happened there was IROC went to the other side of you, and you meant to kind of cancel it. Maybe you tried to cancel into like high jump 7, and you canceled to high jump 4, which was just a backdash. Something like
Well,
that.
no, because this doesn't change based on the direction your opponent is. It shouldn't change. Like you shouldn't get a backdash like that just because your opponent's facing that way, as far as I know.
Huh.
Because because you can't backdash forward. It doesn't make sense. Because I'm facing right, but I backdash to the right. So I honestly have no idea what happened there.
I'll look into the I'll look closely at this when I'm editing. Pinwheel.
I hate that move. The fact that you can do it out of border escape is also incredibly obnoxious because you have this option that that grazes nonstop from border escape into pinwheel, and it's so difficult to deal with.
Yeah, because Pinwheel, it's got like ridiculously good frame data, and the recovery is just like nothing.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good 2A. That was really nicely spaced.
Two is a broken button.
So now that you've got the Alt 214, does this make neutral any more in your favor?
It makes air pressure against Yukari safer.
Okay.
Because Yukari is huge and slow, thank God, so she doesn't deal with flash very well if I'm doing it out of like J6A. So I can throw out flash and be safer against some of her stuff.
Makes sense. Ooh, J8A Ender. Is that optimal? Would you have rather ended with J2A there or J8A?
Normally, so recently I've been going for J8A enders. The reason is J2A enders, because you have to fly higher above them, they're a little bit more inconsistent. And the time you have to Oki with like bolts is about the same between J8A and J2A. Just because if you're using J8A, you start falling to the ground, and if you're using J2A, you're higher up. So the damage is a bit worse, and the Oki timing is a little bit shorter, but it's way more consistent. So I've been going for this ender a lot recently.
That's cool. That's very interesting.
Okay, if you can pause right there. This is the moment where I lost this set, right there.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Because
tilting.
because I did not expect that to hit. I was expecting a block. Because I thought that okay, he's gonna high jump and he's gonna just block because I have pressure, and I just did not react at all in time to that J5A hit, and I got so mad that I missed that. Because it's the first round of the set. It's pretty important to set a momentum going.
Yeah,
And considering I got crushed in winner's side too, I'm like, okay, I want to get around and I want to get this going.
of course.
But like that J6A was sheer panic. I was so not ready for that J5A to land, and I normally just go for J5A, J2A, J5A, J6C, and I had no idea what to do after that J5A hit, and the J6A whiffed completely. He was able to air tech and just hit me.
Mm-hmm. That
So this
sucks.
is this is this is the moment where like my mentality just started going downhill, and like this is the moment where I really started just suffering.
I imagine that whiffed Far 5A didn't help much either.
No, I just start playing really badly after that round loss. Like all my buttons are like a little bit too early or a little bit too late, or I'm not paying attention to what IROC's doing. I was really tilted after that one round right there.
Oof. Yeah, and the whiffed Gangeki. Oh man, this is just such an unfortunate string of events here.
Like I was trying to like just right block one thing and immediately Hangeki, but he went for wrong block into bullet to the high jump, so my Hangeki completely whiffed, and now I'm stuck with no defensive options.
Yeah, and like 2.5 orbs to your name.
Yeah.
Is there any option that IROC had to crush you off of that run? Because it looked like you didn't have much spirit left. Would
No,
anything
I
be?
just guess. I mean, he could have gone. He could have gone for bullets, and maybe I would have just not reacted and blocked those. But he dashed in and he went for a melee crush. But I guessed correctly on the mix-up, and then when I tried to backdash out, he caught my backdash out of iframes with 2A, but I just fell down because Yukari can't really convert off that.
Yeah, and the
So I
2A
was able
was
to
like.
get my orbs. Yeah, I was able to get my orbs back, but it's still not a great situation.
IROC does this thing I noticed in pressure. It's a really good strategy where you kind of bait like you whiffed something, but in reality it was intentional, and it kind of leads people to think that they can, punish or do something, and then you just kind of smack them. Like that kind of reset. I see that happen a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I just got hit by bullets there on Wake Up. I don't remember what I was trying to do. Yeah, you can see how mad I was.
That was such a.
I would normally never hit 4A like that, just like out of frustration.
Oh my god, that mash! I felt that mash right there. I think we've all been there. Now, what I'm interested to see is if you get hit, if you try to graze Pinwheel here.
Probably.
Well, that didn't go too badly.
Yeah. I don't know why was in the air during Spring Haze against Iku, because on the ground, Yukari can just, approach me, and I have to respect the threat of Pinwheel the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, even if I go for something stupid, like I could go for 6-6C with its 20 active frames and try to just, like, lame him out like that, and try to get all of his orbs. If he just goes on a Pinwheel, I just get hit.
Yeah, because it's got, like, it's frame 1 graze, right?
For Pinwheel, yeah.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Strong move.
Yeah.
I remember, so you had a video on conversions, and I know you usually don't like to go for Exodia conversions. By the way, Exodia is the swimming oarfish shot. It's. Where did that term originate, Exodia?
It originated from, like, right around the time Sokorul started coming out, and people didn't know how to deal with the card. And so there was the joke that if Iku has 5 cards in her hand, she just wins. But nowadays, there's a lot more tech involving, anti-Exodia measures. Like, but in this case, it was Diamond Dust. If I really wanted to be mean to IROC, what I should have done here was I should have limited the combo with 6A, pushed him out of the corner, and then done Exodia for Oki, and that would have just guaranteed. But I think I still crushed him here. I'm not sure. Oh no, I remember what happens here. You can play the clip.
Oh man.
Yeah, so normally 5A J8A is not border escapable, but I have no fucking idea how he did that. So I did 5A J8A specifically to catch the border escape, and the angle was so weird, and he did it so early that my J8A just whiffed, which was really annoying. So he managed to escape Diamond Dust Exodia pressure because for one, I limited with Exodia, so there was a lot less time for Oki, and two, I just let him escape. Like, I was just a tiny bit too slow on both of my border escape catches in that string, both in the air and on the ground, and he was able to get out.
That sucks. So Yukari only has one charged melee, right? Like that's just charged 6A. That's the only one. So if you hear it, if you hear the charged sound, you know to block high. Right?
It's still a faster one of the faster charges in the game.
Yeah.
It's one of the faster charges in the game, and it's 0 on block, so it's really irritating to deal with.
Oh god. Bonk. And Typhoon on the clock. Would you want to force this in a situation? Would you feel confident that you could win in Typhoon?
If I was in neutral, maybe, but not in pressure. In pressure, she just pinwheels and I lose because my Iku's 4A whiffs on pinwheel.
Oh.
It goes
Cursed.
under. Yeah, it goes under by 1 pixel. I looked at this, or Peters showed me this in Hitbox Viewer.
That's the worst. What?
He hit me the frame before I landed. I was trying to dash forward.
Yeah. That sucks. So in a situation like this, what would you advise somebody do to kind of like deal with tilt here? Because it's obvious like a loss like this does not feel good.
I honestly have no idea. You're asking the wrong person.
Okay. Well, maybe some deep breathing exercises. You know, inhale for 7 seconds, exhale for 9. Just a couple of deep breaths, kind of reset. Think about the big picture of like what you can do and what you should look out for, and then go into the second game. And we're gonna see that probably not happen.
It's all down here from here, boys.
Yeah.
That was a terrible combo. That was a
Is
terrible
there any way
combo.
that that converts?
Bar 5A air unblockable converts into like 30 different combos. I could have done anything to limit there, but I just chose a really, really dumb path. If I wanted to use 5B, I could have jumped HJ9, and that would have been a better option. But I I don't know, I was freestyling way too hard, and I just went for some random path that doesn't work.
You know, I've been there, man. It's okay. I've noticed that your D22 there, it's really been doing some work. Like in neutral and defense and stuff, it will actually get rid of Yukari C bullets. It's an effective kind of zoning tool almost in neutral if you expect IROC to go in with like a melee.
The reason I don't really run it is because of Pinwheel, though.
Oh yeah,
Well, I
true.
mean, I guess like if Yukari's in the air, it kind of works, but if Yukari's grazing forward, then like on the ground, she can just go straight into Pinwheel out of graze, and that's just full grazes. I also try to go more for the D22, the all 2 bolts, because I just want to get pressure. That's kind of like what I expect to do against Yukari, but maybe against IROC I should run D22 more. He doesn't seem to deal with it very well.
Okay. Oh,
That's ridiculous. That's
what?
absolutely ridiculous. So there is that was literally the only button I could have pressed where 4A would have beaten me, and because that's the Alt 236 bullet drill. That move has a extended hurt box that goes out like 2 character lengths in front of EQ. It's really really long extended hurt box, and that 4A was the stupidest thing ever. There is no reason she should ever hit a jab from that range. She gets punished every. If I hit any other button, she gets punished for that, except for the one button I hit, which is fucking insane.
Dude, he's in your head. that's that's almost worse than losing the first round.
Yeah, and I immediately just get hit.
Of course, of course. So that's a couple strings of mashes. Typically, after the first one, you would want to start blocking. This isn't like I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm just like for future for the viewers, you know. Like you don't. That's I see this happen way too often, where you know you just kind of start mashing because you think that it's gonna work this time, and then you're down like 6K off of like some really avoidable conversions. And it's just something you want to try to look to avoid.
Yeah.
That so that's one of those strings where it's like you just kind of have to eat the crush there, and
Well,
less.
no, not necessarily, because after that J8A, Yukari has no flights, so she can't limit. If I get crushed, I get limited. Like this, I ate 600 damage and I air tech out.
Oh,
So in this case, I think it was fine, the BE there, because even if she has no option to do anything off of that J6A or J8A. Like if she goes for J6C, she can't, even if she gets like one hit off of it, she just can't fly anymore. So in this case, I get a just return to neutral for a small bit of hit points.
okay, yeah, that makes total sense actually. Pinwheel.
Yeah, I should have seen it in his hand. If I saw it in his hand, I would have paid more attention to it. But also, like, the way I got hit by that pinwheel was so obnoxiously ambiguous.
Yeah, that is vague. That is
Like,
incredibly
I'm not
vague.
even sure what side I'm gonna land on after this clip resumes. But you'll see how close I was. Like, right
Oh,
there, it was almost directly above him, but just to
oh,
the right.
that's
It's
terrible.
it's bad, yeah.
And you know what sucks about Pinwheel is how like when you get hit by it, it's like you just get a bunch of weights attached to you and you just fall to the ground super fast. Like
Yeah,
even when you're up above the health bars, you have so much untech on you that you just fall to the ground.
I have like it takes an insane amount of proration to air tech pinwheel like that. Because
Yeah.
I don't know why they gave the move so much on air tech. It's ridiculous. So yeah, pinwheel after the fourth hit is like minus 12 or 11 or some stuff. And again, EQ's 558 is 16 frames. So
Christ.
whenever I try to punish Pinwheel and Spring Haze, this always happens.
Yeah. And the Spring Haze, that was just a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like pro tip: don't punish Pinwheel and Spring Haze. Just high jump out. It's not worth your time.
But what if he goes for another one?
Exactly. That's the thing though. What if you try to like read his dash forward and you go for some stupid setup and he just pinwheels again, you get hit.
Man, Pinwheel.
Ah, the one hit J2C.
Yeah.
That was funny. Tempest
Yeah.
then sent him way too far.
Dude, he dropped that. That was a really cool reset though into the crush because that was like a conversion. I find that when you get a conversion and you know that you can combo and your opponent knows you can combo, that's the time to go for the reset because they do truly honestly think that you're going to go for that. So they just kind of start blocking. I feel like
Pretty much.
that's a
I mean,
really strong
what
thing.
happened there was he just guessed or he was able to guess 50/50s twice off of my 5A and my 3A, and then off 3A he border escaped forward, and I did the wrong option, so he just hit me.
Hmm.
There are ways to make if I'm running bullet drill, there are ways to make myself safe off a right blocked command normal, but I just went for the bullet drill and he punished it.
That was meaty, right? That's like an option off of Hangeki is if you have like some kind of meaty move, you can trade with it, especially if something that you have it knocks down, like Iku
Oh yeah,
3A.
Iku has like 3 or 4 ways of trading with Hangeki really easily, so I just try to go for those when I see a Hangeki. That was a misinput. That was supposed
Yeah.
to be a 36.
Oh man. The startup for that 6A is so threatening. Like you're about to get bonked by the umbrella.
I was fishing for Exodia. He
Yes.
didn't bite on the one there was one reset I was trying to go for, and he just didn't bite on it, so that was irritating. Do you think with like Irok's defense is based entirely around the assumption that his opponent sucks? So when he actually has to deal with someone who can like consistently Oki, he kind of vaporizes. But in my case, I was not playing well.
That makes sense. Yeah, I it's so tough to deal with people that can Okizeme well. It always feels bad to just get stuck in the corner forever.
Well, and then this third game, like the second game was worse than the first one, and then this third game was just disastrous because he drew Ron every 3 cards he basically built with meter.
Oh, okay. Well, without further ado, this is the third and last game in the set, which tells you how well this one's gonna go. Yeah, I'll edit that out. What's supposed to happen?
I need to get
Man,
better at grazing through bullets with Iku because Iku, even though Iku is a bit slower than other characters and a bit bigger, she can still do stuff like graze through bullets and hit J5A.
yeah, and a lot of stuff just kind of whiffed there. I was just like off by a bit, you know.
A little bit, yeah. Because Yukari's Heartbox goes weird with all her movement. Because she's huge, but she can place her hitbox in really strange places.
What's her hitbox look like here? Damn, hotkey isn't working.
That was a 2-hit pinwheel, so I can just punish it with 4-5A.
Okay, good to know.
I think 3-hit pinwheel is minus 16. 2 it's like minus 20, so it's a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. You thought you had bolts there.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Whenever I do that, I always mess up my Oki. So I'm probably just gonna veil because it's heavy fall. Where was my veil coming? Like I was trying to veil the entire time, I think.
Oh, I feel
Like,
that, dude.
the reversal buffer in this game is 1 frame. There is no reversal buffer, so you have to actually reversal when you wake up. So if you miss
Yeah.
that 1 frame, you just get hit.
I feel that every time I use a bomb, I just feel so stupid when it just looks like I'm mashing like an idiot, and I'm just like, I'm trying to use them. The move I'm doing is correct. I'm just inputting it terribly.
Yeah. Like I don't understand why I'm not just mashing veil here. It's heavy fog. I don't want it to get any health back, especially when I'm up a little bit.
Yep, there
Yeah,
it
so there's
is.
the veil finally coming out.
Now Veil's a Roman cancel, right? So you get like
Yeah.
a little bit extra frames on that cancel. You kind of cancel out of block stun a little bit, so you can kind of just punish somebody for attacking you.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, veil is simply +2 on activation. It's weird because Iku can act 2 frames earlier out of veil than her opponent, and it's a 1-frame install.
Huh. Interesting.
So if you ever see Iku hit Veil and you're just doing nothing in front of her, just block. Her 8-frame 4A becomes a 6-frame 4A. So even if you're like meleeing at best, you trade, and Iku's plus out the trade. So just don't do anything. I don't know how I got hit there.
It's kind of a game of chicken when you have Veil, because it's like you want to graze into them and then use a melee, but they kind of want to graze into you and then use a
Yeah,
melee. It's
but
just
I don't understand how I got hit there because I was grazing into him with Veil, and I didn't hit a button. Like there was no counter hit. I didn't hit a button.
it's just IROC. The man's is built different.
I hate this character. Look at that J5A.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You blocked correctly though that time.
I have no
It was
flight though, so I
not.
can't punish this.
Yeah, it wasn't very ambiguous that time. You were most certainly on the
No.
offside.
Yeah. But look, I'm gonna get pushed out of J2A range, and I have no flights left, so I can't even punish this. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
even J2A isn't long enough. Like,
Nope.
yeah. And there's just nothing to do there. You wrong block 6A in that situation, you just kind of lose, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
God, that's so dumb. Why do Yukari's hitbox is so good?
Yeah, she just has so many options. Yukari's, it's always Yukari's turn.
I mean, you can see the Ron in Yukari's hand. You can guess how the rest of this round's gonna go.
Yeah, unfortunately. It's like it feels like Yukari's pressure is like Sakuya's Okizeme. It's like he just kind of, oh
Pretty much.
God,
Pretty
this is
much.
happening
Ron
again.
is a disgusting spell card.
Yeah, the simplest ones are just the most disgusting. It just is
Yeah.
damage and a really long amount of blocks done.
I mean, just like even on paper, it's so stupid. Ron is +40 on block.
Ah,
It's crazy. It's ridiculous. A little slow on the J6A there.
Yeah, a little slow on the 2-2 there as well. But did you have bolts at that point?
No, I was going for 2-2 specifically, but like unknown fact about 2-2, it actually has an extended hurt box above EQ. So
Oh,
yeah, it's often not the best anti-air.
because she's doing the little disco spin, so she puts her hand up,
Yeah,
and you just get
yep,
quite literally a slap on the wrist.
pretty much.
Ooh, that was a really nice read. A really nice block there.
I mean, if I'm on that side of the portal, there's only one way she can come. She can actually hit me. She'll always hit me from that side. The problem is, look at this situation. Yukari's landing and recovering. I have to turn around to hit her with J2A. And remember what I said about Iku's flight? I'm
Hmm.
actually technically minus in this situation. It's still Irok's turn.
It's always Igarok's turn.
Like, look. Oh, actually, I turn around there in time.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but I can't get a punish on block, which is ridiculous. Like, if he goes for an option like that, why can't I just punish it? Even with like something like J2A. J2A is 13 frames, by the way, and I couldn't punish that.
Yeah. This is a J8A, I think.
Yeah, J8 is coming out.
Yeah. That's satisfying to land. Like
Yeah,
the 3 hits.
I didn't get a flash cancel there though, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
Flash would have limited off of that, but like at this point, it's so demoralizing to deal with like the uphill climb from this position in this round.
Yeah, it's like you have to beat this round and then the next one, and then you have to go for another 2 games and win those.
Yeah, I was pretty much like playing as a dead man at this point. I was not happy.
Yeah, I feel that. It's so hard to come back from something like this mentally.
Because you
Best
remember
of
like
fives.
in the first game, right? I was about to win and I dropped the or like first game first round. I was about to win and I just dropped J5A into anything pickup. And then
Yeah.
second round in that game, I get Exodia Oki. He barely border escaped out of my melees twice, and then he wins that round. He wins the game. And then game game two, round one, I was up like 5k. He gets a heavy fog, and I mess up Veil. And even though I got a Veil, I still lose that round. And
Hmm.
then second round of that game, I just get rammed twice and lose, or some think that like second round in that game was a disaster. And then here, like I wasn't even doing that bad in the third round, in the first round of this game. And then just IROC does his usual IROC stuff. I play a tiny bit inaccurately, and everything just goes to hell.
Yeah. And he is
At
going
this
to
point, like
rain
look at this. I have
two
like less than
orbs.
1,000 health. I have 2 orbs. He has Ron in his hand. I don't have a Veil.
I would be surprised if he didn't just go for dial A and then just ran and just end. Like
I
that
mean,
would
if
just
Soko had
work.
yeah, if Soko had text commands, it's the way to just input /ff.
This is a
What's the point? What's the actual point in trying to defend against Ron with 1,000 health with 2 orbs? Give me a break.
this is depressing, man. Nobody wants to get hit into a checkmate like this.
The worst part is, look at my hand. I'm less than half a card off Veil.
This is the worst. That's almost like teabagging right there. Is like waiting to the last possible second off of the crush to go for the 4A. That's
Technically, it's
demoralizing.
technically it's optimal because you get to do the corner loops.
Oh yeah, true. Maybe he just
So
does
it's
that
not
versus
like
everyone.
and like even if IROC BMs, like I can't bring myself to dislike him
Yeah.
because we've met in real life and we've played Soku in real life together. And he's a chill guy. Like he's fun to
Yeah.
hang out with. So I
Yeah.
can't dislike him. But I fucking hate how he plays and I fucking hate his character. So I don't know. It's a tricky balancing act, this one.
I actually know that. Why is it so? The people that are like the worst to play against, they usually end up being kind of chill.
Yeah.
Man, that's unfortunate. Well, well, this has been kind of depressing. Any final thoughts to end it off?
God, I want to learn this like I want to learn this matchup so badly, but this isn't like at this level. You can't just like say, "Oh, try this and try this." There's no panacea in any matchup. Like even if you're giving matchup advice to a beginner, you can just say, "Oh, try using this option more, try using this option more," right?
Hmm.
And maybe they'll get some better results with it. The point is, in that case, when you tell them to try an option they're not considering, they'll do a whole bunch of weird stuff until something works. And that's how you learn matchups.
Yeah.
How like I don't know what really to do in this case because my usual gameplay and my usual strategies, my usual movement just doesn't work. Like you saw, I was trying to graze through 5C, but when I was grazing through 5C, it has infinite graze resistance. So by the time I get all the way through it, he's already air dashed and he's already hitting J5A, so I got a block. So Yukari is so good at pushing Iku around. Like maybe I should treat it more like Patchy, where I just like almost never hit uh 6D. I always just run away and try to spam 6C from full range or J2A at max range. But again, unlike Patchouli, like even if the neutral is comparable, like unlike Patchouli, Yukari gets insane pressure. Patchouli pressure is the only dangerous thing she can really do is like a whole bunch of bullets into like Deluge or a whole bunch of bullets in some other corrupt card.
Mm-hmm.
And Yukari just has Ron. Yukari has Pinwheel. Yukari has the double overhead with J5A, J2A.
Yeah.
It's nutty. It's crazy. Like I can play well. I can do almost everything right, and then make one mistake, and IROC just wins the round, like you've seen in the first two games.
Mm-hmm.
It's so frustrating to deal with. Maybe this matchup is 4-6. I don't know. Maybe I should start calling it 4-6 and feel better about myself. How the hell do Japanese players put Yukari in C tier? That really makes no sense to me. Like they even it's not there's no Yukari in Japan. They have Bon, like Bon.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy is crazy good. He's about as good as IROC, and they still think Yukari is C tier. This character is insane. She gets everything. She has every tool she needs. All she has is like a little bit kind of bad defense, but like who doesn't have kind of bad defense in this game, really?
Yeah, true. Remelia.
Okay, thanks.